So welcome back to the sawmill, friends. It is a hot one here in Tennessee today and no rain. I know, I can't believe it either. But friends, don't let these blue skies fool you. Sometime tonight we're supposed to have some more bad storms roll through here. And it rained last night. I'll tell you what, guys, it rains every day here at the farm, every day. So anyways, guys, I'm working on multiple different projects today, and this is the first one we're tackling. Let me show you what we got going on. So if you guys remember 2 videos back, which was actually 2 days ago, I started on this 16-foot poplar log, and we got several 8-inch wide boards cut, and this is going to be for the walls down here at the mill. And I started already, guys. Well, I brought you guys with me. I videoed this. There's the first one. And the reason I did not start right here is because there's actually 2 reasons. Number one, I'm going to put some blocking in here to kind of seal that up. And number 2, I need to put some flashing, like some L flashing that would go right here and kind of come over. And the reason is when the board that goes against this post starts to shrink on this side and it opens up, you won't be able to see this metal right here. You'll see that black flashing right there and it won't really be noticeable to you. And I don't have any of that stuff on hand right now. But anyways, there's the first board so far, and I didn't realize it had some rainbow in it. My goodness. That looks pretty good right there, don't it? So anyways, this is how I install board and batten siding. Everybody does it different. My main boards, I usually put 1 or 2 nails toward the middle, somewhere in there. And I'm using galvanized nails because this is green wood. And that's all I do. I put 2 right here toward the middle, and that's it. When the batten strips go on both sides, it will hold the sides down if it tries to cup on me. And I've been doing it like this for years, guys. I've not had a problem with it. But I know there's a lot of different methods out there. Some people just put 1 nail directly in the middle, and that's it. And that might work. I've never done it that way. I put 2 all up and down through there. And the board is not going to crack or anything like that as it dries. That is something I've heard over the years, people talking about putting up this siding and doing 1 nail because the board will shrink and it'll crack. Well, this wood's green, guys. It will shrink around the nails. I've never had one crack like that. It may happen someday, but it's never happened to me. All right, guys, a few things here just to answer some of your questions in case you're wondering. I'm not going to insulate this. There's no need to worry about condensation. This is an open air building. It's open on all 3 sides besides this one. I will never close this building in or nothing like that, so therefore there's no need for insulation. Another thing is, some of the reasons we're doing this is to keep the heat off of us. The heat radiates on this metal. It's pretty hot, but this wood doesn't get too hot at all. So therefore, by putting this up and having this little air gap in here, hopefully that will get rid of a lot of the heat that comes through here. I think it will. Another reason is so we can use these walls. I want to put some shelves down here, maybe hang up some banners or some signs. And it's kind of hard to do when you just have these runners right here with metal on them. And another reason is, or one of the most important reasons probably, it's going to look nice and rustic in here. These are circle sawn boards. So you got the real nice circle sawn pattern on the face of the lumber. And as it dries, it looks even more prevalent. And it looks better than just bare metal and pressure treated pine. This right here, friends, is a tip for you all that's never going to own a sawmill, but let's say you buy some wood off a sawmill and they're going to build a barn or something. You just put a fresh cut on this log that was sawed at the sawmill. Therefore, you got wood fibers here being exposed for the first time and there's no anchor seal on them. Therefore, you need to put some more anchor seal on this because it will crack on you. I don't care if it's been laying there drying for a few weeks or maybe a month or so. If you make a fresh cut in on rough sawn lumber from a sawmill, other than pine, You know, hardwoods and stuff like that, you need to put some anchor seal on here. A lot of guys don't do it with pine. I don't think pine cracks really bad on the ends as far as end checking goes. But hardwoods like oak and poplar and stuff, you need to put more on here. And if you don't have any anchor seal, get yourself some old latex paint and paint that on the ends, or maybe some wood glue. All you're trying to do here is seal up the end of this log and all these wood fibers so the wood is forced to air dry or lose its moisture on the face and the sides of the lumber. If it's losing it on the end grain, that's what causes a lot of the checks. If it's losing on the face and the sides, it's not so big of a deal. That's what we're doing here. But make sure you do this. This is a very important step right here. If you don't do it, you go by and look at your siding one day or your barn, whatever you're building, and you look down at the edges of the boards and you'll see some checks down there. You may not see a whole lot of them, but you will see some. As you can see, that didn't take long at all. The most painful part of this is probably buying the anchor seal. It's not cheap. I get mine on Amazon because I get that Amazon Prime free shipping, you know, and all that good stuff they say you're getting. But if you want some of this stuff, I'll leave a link down below in the video description. I think Amazon probably has the best price on it. All right, guys, there we go. A decent little start to this project here. I think it's going to take me well over 100 boards to finish this up, and that ain't counting that opening right there. I'm probably going to cover up where the circle saw is, but at least it's a start. And I got all that lumber that we saw the other day installed, so I ain't got to worry about it cupping on me now. I'll tell you what, guys, I think it's gonna look really good. I love the circle saw marks on that lumber right there. It makes those boards look so much better, I think. Now we just gotta, saw up about 10 or 15 more, And I'm just gonna do one section at a time. I'll put all the boards up and then I'll go back after that a few days later once it air dries just a little on the face and do the batting strips. And also, as far as down here goes, I'm gonna be pouring myself some stem walls all the way down through here with my little mud mixer machine. I wanna seal up the floor in here with the outside. So I'm gonna put me a form board on the other side of these 2x right here and pretty much just do what I did in the shop up there on the hill. We did that I think last fall. Come in here, just pour a wall all the way down through here. That'll close that up, it will look really good. And I'm also gonna try to get somebody out here with more concrete experience than I have to pour me a slab right here, because I'm thinking about moving some machines over here. I've not made my mind up yet, but that's probably gonna happen sooner than later. And speaking of machines, guys, there's gonna be a lot of changes here on this channel as we go into fall in the next few weeks. You're gonna see a lot of new stuff here on the channel, and a lot of my current stuff, you're never gonna see it again. And I'll explain that in a future video. Also, guys, real fast, before I forget about it, some of you have been asking me about this black walnut over here. A few local guys are wanting to buy some of this. This is all 4/4. It's really wide stuff. It's gonna be really nice once we get it out of the kiln. But as you can see, it's not in the kiln yet. But I do plan on putting this in the kiln here in the next week or so. And as soon as I do, I'll show that on a video. And I'll let you guys know when it comes out. And if you want to buy it off of me, I'll put my contact information down in the description when it does come out of the kiln. I'll video all that. But for you guys out there that's been wanting some of this, it will be available here in just a few weeks. All right, friends, so a change of plans here. I have good news and bad news. The bad news is my wife just sent me a text message and told me don't be late for the dentist appointment. I forgot I had to go to the dentist today. I thought it was next week. But it looks like I'm going here in about 30 minutes, so I gotta head up to the house and get cleaned up and drive across town and go get my teeth cleaned. That's very important. You gotta go to the dentist, guys. You got to go to the dentist. Somebody told me one time, years ago, was a pretty smart guy. He told me, he said, you can either go to the dentist now or you can go later, but you're going to go. And he wasn't wrong about that. I'll tell you what, you got to go. So anyways, that's enough about dental hygiene on a Sawmill channel. But anyways, guys, I'm not going to leave you hanging here because this is kind of a short video. I'm going to do something I was asked to do by a Patreon member, and that is they were wanting to see the first video that I ever posted on YouTube. They couldn't find it on my channel for some reason. I don't know what the deal was, but it's on there. But anyways, I've re-downloaded that old video I made in 2015. I put it in 4K, and I'll put it right here at the end of this one. So if you guys are new to the channel or newer to the channel, or maybe you just never saw my old videos, sit back and enjoy this train wreck right here of a video. It was probably one of the worst videos I've ever made. It's called One Man Logging. I filmed it in 2015. It's on my channel, but it's kind of hard to find. And like I said, one of the Patreon members was wanting me to repost it, so I thought, you know, now's as good a time as any. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry for the short video today, but sit back and watch this train wreck that I call video that I made in 2015. And also, in this video, just to answer this question before it comes to the comments, I'm cutting these trees pretty high off the ground. It's because they didn't belong to me. Actually, they belong to me. A guy gave me the trees, but he told me to cut them kind of high because he was going to push the stumps over with his excavator or bulldozer or something so he could bury them. So that's why I was cutting the stumps kind of high on these. So anyways, sit back and enjoy this, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Alright, what you're looking at is this is an ash log, and what I did in order to harvest it the best way, it's about 7.5 feet, and I was able to capture a little bit of crotchwood here. Now, a lot of people don't harvest ash for the crotchwood, but a lot of the times you'll get lucky and there'll be some really nice feeder in the crotch area right there, and it's worth a shot. And if the grain's too interlocked and it's really not really a good wood in there, you can always just cut the crotch off and go with straight lumber, which will make some very nice clear boards. Not a lot of defects on this log. Underneath it there's one cat face and maybe one limb, I believe. This is the firewood that yielded from that tree. It's a good amount of firewood. It's a lot better than burning it on site or just shoving it into a sinkhole and really being wasteful. This is the leftover brush from that tree, which the landowner will be pushing into a large pile at a later date and burn that up. Now, here's the stump left over. Before you start putting the comments on her about look at all that board footage you wasted, here's the deal with this. On the agreement that we have up here, we're leaving the stumps high so the landowner can come back at a later time and push them over and bury them, and that's about the height that he wanted to leave them at. The next thing we're going to do, if I can get in here with the camera shot between this brush, is the ends of this log. I brought some anchor seal with me today from the shop, and I'm going to seal up the ends on this log to prevent any end checking, and not really to prevent it or keep it from occurring. It can still occur without a doubt, but it will really do a good job at trying to fight that from happening, and overall give you some better boards with less end checking on them after I run them through my wood miser. What I'm going to do now, I got the camera set up showing the end of this crotch log right here. I've got my anchor seal here. Now, the anchor seal does not come in these large buckets, or else that's how I don't buy it anyway. This is your regular 5-gallon bucket from Lowe's, but I get these gamma lids right here, and the frame goes around the lid and has a thread on there. You can screw these on and off, which is a lot better than the cheap lids that you get to just pop on and pop off. These don't wear out, and they'll last a long time. This one I've had for several years. I buy my anchor seal by the gallon, then I'll pour it all in here, and this is where I keep it all. And I apply it with just a cheap paintbrush. I get these at the dollar store or wherever. Doesn't really matter what kind of brush you use. But what I do on crotch logs, and I have sawed a lot of crotch logs on my wood miser, and I've harvested a lot of crotch logs, is I try to really go over both ends and really apply that as thick as I can. This will really will get you some more wood when you go to saw this log. You will have less trimming to do, because you still may have some end checking. Sometimes it's hard to avoid, but with this step right here, you can really fight that from happening. And this stuff, if you guys have never used it before, it dries on clear. You'll never see it on here. And once you saw the wood, and my process is, once I air dry it, I then run it through the kiln, this stuff is gone. But you put a good liberal coating on here of this stuff, and I will do both ends on this crotch. Both ends. That's really all it takes. It takes a few minutes to do that. Anchor seal is not real expensive, and the return on your value and that and your investment in it is really good. It's no excuse for not doing that step when harvesting your own timber. Alright, moving on. This is the next tree to harvest. This is an oak tree. The diameter breast height on this tree is around 20 inches. There's a lot of defects in this tree. There's a lot of limbs coming out of the main trunk here. It's not really going to be a high dollar tree when looking at harvesting, looking at reselling on the timber. If sawed correctly and harvested correctly, you can still get some good boards out of a tree like this. And we're going to fell it right about where I'm standing right now behind the camera. And once we fell it, we'll go ahead and get our Spencer tape out and mark our notches, cut up into logs, and harvest the timber. Safely cut her down. Good oak tree here, good oak log. What I did, I took my Spencer tape and I went out and I marked off about 12 and about 4 inches for a 12-foot log off the bottom of this tree. The large end down here is about 20 inches diameter. At the top of that 12-foot log will probably scale down to about 16 inches, I would imagine, on the small end of it. So now we're going to take our chainsaw and de-limb this and cut the log and have it ready to be harvested into lumber. There's a lot of clear wood in this log, and if you take the time on sawing it and position it properly on the bed of your sawmill, you can really saw around a lot of defects here and get some really good clear lumber out of trees like this.
Two star-crossed lovers in the still melting snow.